Hello, welcome to the Trews comments edition, which I'm doing now in this oddly bleak environment that I find myself in. Also, this is on a flight path, this bleak environment, you should know that. Amy Hall, what's wrong with capitalism? Capitalism is the only reason I'll be able to retire early and not have to work myself to death. You maniac, Amy Hall, the capitalism is what's making you work yourself to death. Do you know with the technology we've got these days and the human resources, we should have to work about 4 hours a day, except people at the top are nicking all the money. No, it's not the capitalism, as the name suggests, they capitalise, the people at the top capitalise on all of the resources, including human resources. They suck all the money up near the top. That's why you got to work so hard. Professor Puppet says, to me, the Coca-Cola is more a giant corporation using their power and money Super Bowl ad time to promote actually a positive message, that they're all kinds of ethnically different Americans, and that's what they're celebrating.
From sea to shining sea.
I know it's nice that there's diversity, but diversity ain't got nothing to do with Coke. It's not celebrating diversity, it's not doing anything, it's just showing some nice images and then saying drink some Coca-Cola. It won't help you to drink Coca-Cola. There's nothing in your life that Coca-Cola cannot make a bit worse. Austin Millbarge. I hope that is your real name. Russell, are you somehow under the impression that the US is the only country that's taken away from its original native inhabitants? That seems to be a point you keep bringing out, when the reality is that this can basically be said about every nation on earth, including England and the rest of the UK. I don't agree with national identities. I mean, I'm caught up in it because I'm a person like you, subject to the same things that you are, but I'm not endorsing it or going, there should be no nations on earth, we're all one brotherhood of man on occupying a little rock in infinite space, and America's the worst one. That's not my point at all. I agree with you, basically. Man of Knowledge 1000. The problem with vegetarians, non-meat eaters, whatever you want to call yourselves, a lot of you seem to be of the opinion that those of us who eat meat are automatically evil, people who love being cruel to animals, killing kittens and stuff. Can you not understand the concept of enjoying the natural human instinct to eat meat, but also caring about the welfare of animals, especially endangered animals and those we do not eat the meat, but also the cow or the pig that we do eat? I want to eat meat, but I like to try and eat free-range meat, and I like to know the animal's been stunned before slaughter so as to ease its passing. What is it the veggies can't grasp about that concept? Hypocrisy? I don't know. I don't mind. Yeah, it's good. Stunned. I bet being stunned isn't very nice either. I think the whole thing, look, if you've got any concern at all about animal welfare, you've got to not eat meat. Well, you don't have to, do you want? I'm thinking of becoming vegan. Oh, it's so hard though, isn't it? It's so hard to be a vegan. I'm just going to try. I've tried it before, but it's sort of like being in a food prison. Because, like, things should be organised so we've not been properly educated, we've not got access to the proper food. It's an act of quite defiant independence, and I would like more advice from vegans how to do it well. And you're going to tell me to learn how to cook, aren't you? Bastards. We Are Change, Manchester. Hitler, Stalin, Mao all had one thing in common. They all introduced gun control. That's true. And the genocides, more important. Another connection. And they were dictators that took power out of the hands of the people. Because of the communism you support, Russell, it's the last line of defence against a tyrannical government. Nothing to do with Fox News, but rather if you study history, you'll realise the government is the biggest non-natural killer of humans. Go visit countries that had communism. How did that work out for the people? If they were armed, the government would have backed off. As Mao, one of your communist heroes, said, political power grows out of the barrel of a gun. He was also the biggest genocidal leader in history. We're sort of on the same side, aren't we? I'm not actually communism is just some sharing. You're describing dictatorships, like communist dictatorship. The word communism is almost a bit irrelevant in that. It's the dictatorship bits that's the problem. What I advocate is leaderless, horizontal structures where there isn't anyone in charge. There couldn't be a Mao. There's not someone coming to kill you. I think empower people to run their own communities, to democratically control their own resources on as micro level as possible, as much as possible, devolve power and give it back to people. That might be communism. It's certainly anarcho-syndicalism or a collective idea, so I'm more into that kind of thing. Communism, I like the idea of sharing stuff out, but I'm not mad about big state or super-empowered governments. I'm certainly not pro-dictatorships or genocides. I don't know where I've said something that made you think that. I mean, I just don't think I'm like that. You've misread this. Nick Wayland. Anarchy actually leads to dictatorship, historically speaking. Yeah, well, everything's led to dictatorship, historically speaking. I mean, historically speaking, every single thing that's happened has led here. We won't worry about that. What we want is a system now that averts those kind of systems, like trade agreements, so that corporations can act with impunity no matter which country they're trading in, wherever they're exporting or importing from. They think, hold on a minute, if you can create legislation to empower them, why can't we create legislation on a global level to empower people? Systems are all there, it's just a different ideology. Lucifer Demon Spawn. Russell Brand against normal people, having guns but fails to mention the biggest gun owners in the world, the government. How the fuck can you say the population of civilians run by the state that's the biggest industry is high-tech weapons, not to own a firearm? That makes no sense whatsoever. Everyone should have the right to own a gun, especially if their government is a power-hungry war machine like the United States. If we lived in a perfect world where people were born with equal rights and equal opportunity to live a peaceful life, then having a gun wouldn't be logical, but that's not the world we live in, unfortunately. He obviously hasn't put much thought into this argument. Nor have you, because we've got all those guns and it's not working. It's not doing anything. So change is obviously required, and that change isn't right. Do you think the government would, if they thought that an armed population would any way prevent them from exercising absolute authority, there would not be guns? They're comfortable with it. They're cool with it, because what they want is all of us bickering about bullshit like this instead of having a mass organised movement about sharing power, so power comes from the bottom up, not from the top down. Them guns aren't helping. Joey Lysergic. I want Russell. Joey Lysergic. I want Russell to use me as a toilet. How? In what way? Like, to be sick and you do a wee, a poo, all of it? I'm not ruling it out. I've never been offered that so directly, and certainly not in a written format. Joey Lysergic. Explain yourself. Alright, bye-bye everyone. I've done some Trews now. I love you. Keep your communications coming. We're in this together. All of us. Even those of you that are crazy. That would have to include me a little bit.
Nose is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Trews is like the nose. If the nose was true, I want some Trews. Let's have some Trews.